In January 2019, the Grant family gathered in a small town in Wisconsin to say goodbye to their father, Harold Grant, a retired engineer known for his precision and fairness. But behind the quiet funeral, there was tension. Harold had left behind not just a modest estate, but questions. His 3 children, Michael, Sarah, and the youngest, Emily, all believed they knew how the inheritance would be divided. Harold was a man of logic. He had told them everything was documented. Yet when the lawyer opened the folder, what he revealed would tear the family apart. The will stated that everything, the family home, Harold's savings, even his pension, would go to his oldest son, Michael. Sarah froze. Emily cried. And then the lawyer added, "This is the only will on record, signed December 15th, 2018. But Harold had been hospitalized that day and unable to sign anything." Within days, the sisters began to question everything. Emily, who lived nearby, remembered visiting her father 2 days before Christmas. He could barely hold a pen. The signature on the will looked perfect. Too perfect. When she compared it to older documents, something didn't match. The letters were identical, as if copied. The lawyer refused to comment, claiming confidentiality. Michael insisted their father had changed his mind, that he'd wanted to reward responsibility. But neighbors remembered arguments between Michael and Harold about money. One night, Emily found something. An earlier version of the will, dated June 2017, stored on an old flash drive. That version divided everything equally between the 3 children. It was the first proof that something had been altered. In early 2020, Sarah filed a civil petition to contest the will. Her lawyer, David Chen, was a former forensic handwriting analyst. He noticed inconsistencies not only in the signature, but in the paper and ink. The 2018 document was printed on a different batch of legal stationery, one used by Michael's company. The ink was 6 months newer than the date on the signature. Still, it wasn't enough. Courts demand absolute proof. The sisters subpoenaed email records. That's when they found something extraordinary. A PDF file, created 2 days before the signing date, from Michael's office computer. Inside, a scanned copy of Harold's signature, traced from his 2017 will. It was digital forgery, subtle but traceable. The trial began in October 2020. Michael arrived with his lawyer, calm, confident, smiling for the cameras. Sarah and Emily sat quietly behind their attorney, holding the same worn family photo from their childhood. The courtroom fell silent as the expert witness took the stand. "This signature," the expert said, "was not written by hand. It was printed from a digital file." Gasps filled the room. Michael's expression didn't change, until the judge asked him directly, "Did you have access to your father's documents?" He hesitated. "Yes, but only to organize them." The court adjourned, but the damage was done. Over the next 2 weeks, Michael's defense collapsed. Metadata from his computer tied him directly to the forged file. In December 2020, the judge declared the 2018 will invalid. The estate was frozen pending further investigation. Michael faced charges of fraud, forgery, and perjury. The sisters won the case, but not peace. Sarah later said, "Winning felt like losing. We lost our brother long before the verdict." Emily sold the house a year later. She couldn't stand the silence. The money from the estate went to legal fees and debts. The inheritance vanished. But truth remained. In 2022, a journalist requested court access to the case file. It became a local example of how digital forgery can destroy families. Experts later confirmed the forgery technique matched several other inheritance disputes across the country. Harold's original 2017 will is now archived in Madison County. The case is closed. But for Sarah and Emily, justice didn't feel like victory. The real legacy their father left wasn't money. It was a reminder. In family matters, truth is often the most expensive inheritance.